Today's Captain's Blog is made possible by a grant from the awesome Patrick Lovell. Thank you, sir! Hey, if you're interested in sponsoring the Captain's Blog, getting your name up here, being one of the cool kids, check out my Patreon. The links are below in the description, and damn it if I couldn't use your help. Thank you. Hey there guys, how you doing? Welcome to today's Captain's Vlog. Shit, I don't know what time it is. It's 9:28 in the morning. I think it's the 7th. Feels like the 7th. Big tidying cleanup continues. Nothing is wasted. Well, Batman's a little wasted. Good morning, sir.
Morning.
How you doing?
I'm doing.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
How you doing today?
I'm alright.
Oh, we're getting stuff clean and tidy. So when we get big giant donations of like industrial stuff and like we have to sort it all out for parts and whatnot, we cut out all the wire because that gets recycled and that's fundraising. Labor intensive fundraising, but fundraising nonetheless. So much inductive current limiting. Oh, I gotta learn about this stuff. And I got some painting to do today. What? What are you doing?
Just staying out of the way.
So, yeah, it's still here. I'm gonna yell at somebody, I'll be back.
I got to watch the first 2 episodes last night. That was pretty good.
Make you happy?
That made me happy. I finally got what you meant about Puck Bunny. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Hilarious. We're rolling, by the way.
Cool. It never really matters to me. Anybody who's actually spent time around here learns pretty quick that the conversation in this building overwhelmingly is the same if the camera's on or off. There's some stuff, like, if I gotta yell at somebody or something like that, I'll turn the camera off. But
Why would you do that?
I honestly, I've thought about that, and I think the blog would be more realistic and better if I didn't turn the camera off to yell at people. But a lot of the time, not always, but a lot of the time I do it for the sanctity of the staff.
That's fair.
I don't want to embarrass the team. Sometimes I do. Like VJ shitting the toilet off the wall. Yeah, that's going on the blog.
He shattered it.
I think that went on the Patreon. I don't think I put that on the main blog. I saved him some measure of dignity.
You know what that means, guys. If you want to see VJ shatter a toilet, gotta become a Patreon.
No, so they get 5,000 Patreons for a day. So that's something I do want to talk about to you guys in the Patreon. First off, to everybody who's in the Patreon, fucking thank you. Oh my god, it helps. To all of you who are not, please, dear God, I beg you, literally, beg for money. I could really use your help with funding because the Patreon makes a lot of things happen around here. Like Tesla coils. The wire was donated, the tube wasn't. That was paid for by Patreon people. And there's a lot of things that are just quiet little projects that are funded by Patreon because we don't have anywhere near the fundraising support we need. And I know it doesn't sound like a lot, like the Patreon's really tiny, but it helps. Like I look at other guys' Patreons out there and it's like, Jesus Christ, man. If I had that level of funding, I'd be making way better videos than your shit. But Like, it is a quiet personal goal of mine to be able to make enough into Patreon to afford to hire somebody, like create a job, and their entire job is to shoot better quality blog than I can. Like, to shoot this blog, but like to have a real cameraman for it, and a real editor for it, and like that's their job. They make the captain's blog. I think that'd be pretty cool, because that's how we get up to where like every day is a 3-hour blog. Because if I had somebody who that was their whole job, like if I didn't have to do anything but shoot and edit blog, there'd be 3-hour blogs every day. Most people wouldn't fucking watch them, but who cares? It'd be fun.
We're at 49,000 turns.
Yeah, well, I've run the Tesla Coil twice during this one, and it hasn't reset yet.
I wonder how the hell you did that first time. Did you just run it too high?
It's pretty much the same power level all the time. I just think it may have been a bit of EMI, a ground strike, something like that. Or maybe that thing only goes to 50. Maybe it stops at 50,000. But I don't think that's the case.
We're going to find out.
We'll find out today.
So what big projects we got going on today?
I'm doing a lot of work on inductive current limiting. They're doing a scrap trip right now, then there's a big trash trip, there's a lot of cleaning. I have a ton of X-ray transformers I have to get all cleaned and sorted out. I really want to sell them. There's a lot of hobbyists out there that want X-ray transformers because they're kind of hard to get, and we have way too many of them. I want to sell them out to the hobbyist crowd. The school year is starting, so there's college kids out there looking for project stuff. And so I'm just going to put them on eBay. I'm going to put them up there cheap. Like, I'm thinking $250 a piece. Like, typical price for a neon sign transformer is $100. So if I'm selling like 300-pound XRTs for $250, that's just holy shit awesome. And a 10 kVA pole bit will set you back $300. So I'm selling these cheap just because I got a ton of them. I want to get rid of them. And we need the funding because I need to raise, like right now, I need to raise about $6,000 just to do the MMC. And the MMC, the rotary gap, control system, all these things need to happen pretty soon because we've got secondaries, we've got primaries. Wouldn't it be cool if we could actually make them do something? And
I'm super excited.
Yeah.
I'm ready for Icarus to come up.
I am ready for Icarus, but there's a lot of work and a lot of money between here and Lightning. We have to do the rotary gaps, which are going to be kind of expensive, but not too bad. I've got to go over to a motor shop in town today.
Well, we do have the one motor that we got.
We got the one motor, it took a hanging bit. But I want to do a series of rotary gaps, so I want to get like 5 motors because it's such a pain in the ass, and it's like secondaries. It's this huge, involved, pain in the ass project. So it's better to just do it right, get everything all set up, establish the infrastructure, and do a giant pile of them, and get them all done. Oh, wow, that's...
I'm about to ask a super uneducated question.
Oh,
So-
like it's the first time for that.
So Icarus is bipolar. It's going to
Yes,
have
it's a
2.
bipolar Tesla.
So are there / is there a tripolar setup? I mean, we've got
It's been
tubing.
discussed, it's been kicked around, it may have even been tried. I've heard tell of such a thing, and I think I've read about it somewhere. I would like to do one.
I don't imagine it would be easy. It would be a nightmare to set all that up.
Not really, because... Alright, single phase power
Right.
is 60 hertz, 60-second waveform. But 3-phase power, okay, single phase power, regular 120, 240, you have a hot and a neutral, okay? And between those two, the potential goes up and down,
Yep.
right?
And the object is to kick it at the top of the potential one way and bottom of the potential the other
but
way.
with 3-phase power, and this is why we use 3-phase power, I think we may have to go to a whiteboard because I may have to, like, science your ass a bit. Because the reason we use 3-phase power is actually kind of elegant. It's kind of cool. So let's turn this down.
Look at that big, beautiful bitch. Ooh.
Alright, follow me. I'm
Gotta
gonna
get the
teach you
side
about
view.
phase.
Okay. We had to get the side view.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
We should make that happen. And somebody should throw that chair away. Close gate.
Yep.
Alright. So, you've heard me give the thumper demo enough time to know that when you think of electricity, like water and volts is how we measure the pressure.
Yeah. Amps is how big around your hose is.
Yep. So, volts is pressure. So volts is, when we're moving a motor, volts is what we want, right?
Right.
Alright, so when you see the waveform for like 60 hertz power, right? This is our 0. So at this point, there's no volts. So our maximum voltage is up here and down here. Okay? So this is the high pressure, and that's what makes motors move. Alright, so if we have 3-phase power, this is where it gets cool. This is what so now you have 3 hot leads, right?
Yeah.
And if you measure those 3 hot leads against each other, they look like this. Okay. Each one is 120 degrees out of phase. You know why it's 120? Just watch. You draw a triangle, an equilateral triangle. Okay. How many degrees in a circle?
360.
Okay, what's a third of that?
Brain just broke. 120.
There you go. So, in our circle, you have phase maximum, phase maximum, phase maximum. So here, and these are actually too close together. My wavelength is too long. But these, because there's 3 of them, and because they're 120 degrees out of phase, one of these is always at maximum. All the time.
Okay, right.
So in here we have maximum, and then huge dead zone all the way down to here where we're going down, and that slowly ramps up in this huge dead zone. So like pretty much entirely from here to here we have shit.
Right.
For like half the waveform we have shit. Well, we could just add another phase and do it where at this point here, like if we were 90 degrees off, or 180 degrees out of phase, no, it'd be 90 degrees off. We could come here and bring our maximum there, and then cross 0 here, and then have a maximum like that, right? So now we've got double bumps, but that's 90 degrees out of phase. And we can, there's a lot going on. But the idea is with 3-phase power, we've got 3, so we're hitting maximum all the time somewhere. As the motor goes down, you hit bang, 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 bang.
Yeah,
bang.
so the object, when the coil goes off, you're getting bangs at the top of each of these, the bottom of each of these.
Yeah.
But if you do it with the 3-phase, then you're hitting it literally 3 times as often. So instead of having 2, it would have to have 6.
If you have a Tesla coil, now here's, we got to get back to coils. Okay. If you have a Tesla coil, now the way it's wired, normally what you're used to is you have, I'm going to draw this more isometrically than schematically because I'll break you if I try and, here, we'll transition you from isometric into schematic. You're going to learn about some schematics, okay?
I'm okay with that.
So with a Tesla coil, we've got our big primary coil at the bottom,
right?
And then we've got our big secondary coil going up like this.
Yep.
And then we've got our top loop, right? So these, we'll ignore the entire tank circuit, and we'll just say we run 2 wires in here, because we do. And this power, so this power here looks, it doesn't, but, well, yeah, it kind of does. It looks like this. It looks like brr, brr, brr. Okay, and these are the bangs.
Right.
Every time these fire, this rings up. It's like a wine glass, okay? Think of it like hitting a gong. You hit a gong and the whole thing vibrates, right? Okay, so we have a coil here and a coil here. This is one coil with 2 wires. This is one coil, and there's a wire out the bottom. And this wire we're going to put, and we're going to connect this to ground. And this is the symbol for ground. And the top wire we connect to the toroid, which is the big donut on top, okay? And then a single spark comes off, and this spark wants to touch something, like a wall, because capacitance, But what it really wants to do is and connect to ground. Okay, that's where they really want to go. So that's a Tesla coil, single coil, right? So what we do is I want to have a much bigger coil, but I can't fit it in that space.
Okay.
So what if we take and break the coil in half, okay, and then we duplicate this. So what we do is we have our big coil on the ground, and we'll take that wire, and we'll take this wire, and we'll take these over like this, and we'll run this up, and make another coil, and down, and then we'll run these over to our power supply here. Okay, this is our magic power box.
Right.
Okay, so now we have two of these, and in one we'll put our big secondary, and a donut, and a big secondary, and a donut. So electrically it's the same thing, because this coil, well, we just add another one on, right?
Right.
So it's all still one circuit, it's one power supply, it's two coils, so this is still a single phase setup. And when the bang fire, this still makes the same bangs, and these bangs go through, and it happens so fast it works pretty much the same. But we reverse the polarity. We make one of these on the bottom here wind the opposite direction. So when this one rings positive, when the bang goes above the line, this one rings negative because the polarity is backwards.
Yeah.
Okay, so now these sparks want very badly to touch the other tower.
Right.
They don't want to go anywhere else. The reason we use bipolar coils is because the sparks want to go to the other tower. And when you have a room full of people, this makes it a lot easier to direct the arcs.
Right.
So this makes it a lot safer for us. So
it gets more complicated once you start adding up
everything's
there.
single phase though. Okay, single phase, single phase. So if you have 3 coils, and you could just keep adding them on, it doesn't matter. Because now you don't have the even distribution of plus and minus, you don't really know what the arc's going to do. The arc may want, because you've got 3 top loads, the arcs may want to connect here, or here, or here, or maybe they all want to meet in the middle. Okay, so it could connect in any leg of a delta or in a Y, and we don't know. But where it could get really interesting, and this is something I'd like to explore, is instead of feeding it with single-phase power, feed 3-phase power to it. But now to do that, you have to have 3 completely separate coil systems, each running on a different leg of the 3-phase input power.
Okay.
And they have to be perfectly matched. So you have to have the exact same capacitance, the exact same top loads, the exact same secondary windings, exact same tuning. Like, it's a nightmare. Oh my God. But that's the inherent problem to doing that. Now, and this is cool because for extra credit, you can look at transformers. We have a lot of transformers around this building, okay? Look at the pictures on the transformers, and you'll see that depending on the transformer, they want to be connected in different ways. You have 3, and you'll see this picture a lot. You'll see transformers where they're connected. Now, you know how I've been drawing coils? Like this?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Well, it turns out that's very similar to the schematic symbol for a coil. The schematic symbol for a coil looks like this. Okay?
Okay.
So if we wanted to draw a schematic for a Tesla coil, it would actually look, and this is kind of cool because there aren't a lot of machines in the world that you can draw a complete schematic for in like 30 seconds. This is a complete Tesla coil. Okay? You start with wall power. So these are our 2 terminals to the wall. You come in, now we're going to start with a transformer. Now this transformer is going to have a big wire because it's heavy amperage, so it won't have a lot of turns. So we're going to go whir, 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 like that. And then we're going to have an iron core, and we're going to have a whole lot of turns on this side. So it's smaller wire, lots of turns. So this is our high voltage transformer. We're going to say we're going to have 240 and on this side it'll be 14.4 thousand volts. So we've taken our wall power up to 14.4. Now from here, we need sync rotary gap here, and we'll label that SRSG, which is synchronous rotary spark gap. From here we go to our capacitor. This is a symbol for a capacitor, and when we make glass caps, you'll understand why. But capacitors have 2 plates. And then from here, we go through a really big coil with very few turns. Now, see how we have these bars here? That means iron core, so it's like a transformer, right? This is going to be air core. So here, now we go down to ground, and then we go and if you want to be really technical for schematic use, instead of the donut I always draw on there, probably, and argue this out in the comments, I'm going to put this is a schematic symbol for an antenna. Okay, or a gay boy Tesla coil with a triangle. But this is right there. My triangle should be pink. This is everything you need to have a Tesla coil. Like at the most basic fundamental level, this is everything you need to have a Tesla coil. You need a power supply, you need your step-up transformer to get you up to the high voltage for the tank circuit. This, everything here, is the tank circuit. This is the touch it and die screaming part of the Tesla coil. This is the super dangerous part. This is the big showy part, the big tower and all that jazz. But this is the actual super dangerous part. And all you need is a gap, a cap, and off you go. And now, seeing that, this could be better. There. That's your fundamental schematic for a Tesla coil. And seeing that, you can understand how they work. And this is where it all begins. This is Genesis 1, verse 1. But everything can change from here. This can get immeasurably more complex. And this is a classic, basic spark gap Tesla coil. But as we get into more and more stuff, within a year, you'll be able to draw this just like this, because you'll see it so many times and you'll work with it so much, you'll be just bang it out. And now you know a little bit in reading schematics, because you just learned some symbols, and that's kind of handy. So with transformers, now that we know how to draw coils, you will frequently see this picture on transformers around the lab. And that's a 3-phase transformer. And this connection is called delta. You'll also see a similar one, I'll even invert it for clarity, that looks like this. Now, not everybody does this. I want you to pay close attention, because you can tell the people that care versus the guys that are just punching a time card. The people that care, when they draw their Y connection transformers, they all point rotationally the same way. There are some godless heathen bastards out there who they just both point up or something like that. It just weirds me out. So with this, you have your 3 hot leads. You have X, Y, and Z. And with this, you still have X, Y, and Z, but you also have a neutral. So this is 3-wire 3-phase, this is 4-wire 3-phase. This is delta. You know why they call it delta?
Because
Greek symbol delta, yeah. Okay. And this is, well, it's technically spelled Y. So that's a Y. And they call this a Y because, as you can see, the delta is The delta and the Y is shaped like a W. Well, it starts with W. But this is 3-wire 3-phase, this is 4-wire 3-phase. And you will see this on transformers as the symbol for phase. Well, this will look like this will be 3 conductor, 3 phase. And that's not a 0. Okay? And this will be 4 conductor, 3 phase. Sometimes you'll see it as 3PH, like that. Sometimes just 3P. Today's Captain's Blog is made possible by a grant from the awesome Patrick Lovell. Thank you, sir. Hey, if you're interested in sponsoring the Captain's Blog, getting your name up here, being one of the cool kids, check out my Patreon. The links are below in the description, and damn it if I couldn't use your help. Thank you.